Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to start a casual reading vlog. I'm kicking off spring with a Bambi themed readathon over on my Patreon. So I thought I could share my TBR again for the readathon. It has not changed. There's 3 different prompts. There's some photo prompts. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and share my TBR with you, and then I'll share what I'm going to start reading with, and then we're just going to take this over the next couple of days and see what we actually get read. The first book is The Divorce Party by Laura Dave. I have read at least 2 other Laura Dave books and have really enjoyed them. I really like her writing. This one is on the shorter side. It's a little bit historical fiction as well. It takes us into the lives of these 2 women at opposite ends of marriage. For all the differences between them, distance, privilege, age, Gwen and Maggie have one thing in common. Each has found herself at a crossroads facing the same question: how hard should you work to stay with the person you love? So that's the first book. Next up, I have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, which I believe, I'm pretty sure this is like a YA, yes, a YA mystery thriller. But I guess the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. So yeah, that's what that one's about. Looking forward to that. I have read books by that author before as well. And then another author that I've read books from before, The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. This came out last year, I believe, and I've just been sitting on this book. So these are the 3 books that I'm looking forward to reading over the coming days, or at least that's the plan. I've just been doing housework this morning. We have an electrician coming this afternoon. I just opened up the house a little bit to get some fresh air in here. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with The Divorce Party because it seems like the shortest, quickest read. And then I do have reading sprints with my patrons tonight. So whatever I don't read, today, I can read tonight. But I do want to go ahead and start this. And then I'll probably have to take a break and do some work and stuff like that. But thanks for coming along for this little reading vlog. Don't know how many days it's going to be. Don't know what I'm going to do. So you're just going to have to stick with me and see what I'm up to. I know I'm sitting in the same spot. I haven't been sitting here all day. I've actually been sitting on that edge of the couch to read, but I've done some laundry. I had some chips and salsa. The electrician called. They should be here in 20 minutes. But I also wanted to give you an update on The Divorce Party. There's just something about Laura Dave's writing that engages me. Like, not that much has happened. I'm only... How far am I? Oh, I'm actually quite a bit further than I thought. I'm on page 88. But I'm so interested to see where the story is going. It is multiple POV. It actually starts back in 1938. Yeah, the hurricane of 1938. So it starts there. And then we get Maggie's POV. And then we get Gwen's POV. And it's just kind of flipping between those 2 women. Basically, Gwen and her husband are getting a divorce, and it's seemingly happening for one reason when it's probably happening for another. And then you have Maggie, who's dating the son of this couple that's getting divorced, and she finds out something. She's never met them before, and the parents, and right before they're going to this divorce party, she finds out some information that probably she should have known before. So it has little things happening along the story that just like keep you engaged. The writing is really good, and I'm just having a good time with it. But I'm gonna listen for a little bit longer until the electrician gets here, and hopefully they can fix both of my problems today. We shall see. I just finished The Divorce Party by Laura Dave. It's this light. I'm sorry. I don't have better lighting right now. I actually would rather it be like that. Okay. Point being, I finished The Divorce Party by Laura Dave and I absolutely loved it. I just don't think I can give it 5 stars. Not that the quality isn't 5 stars. There's just a feeling missing in my reading experience that's keeping me from giving it a 5 stars, I think. But I mean, it is a 5 stars. I just can't fully get there. I'm not fully emotionally connected to the characters, to the story. And that's how I felt about all of her books, but all of them are so good. Like, I could easily give it 5 stars, but for the sake of not having that like, OMG at the end of it, like, I give them 4 stars. But they're just like kind of like quieter, introspective stories that you have to think about. Great writing, great quotes. There was, I don't even know, I should have picked something out to, yeah, I wish I could have picked something out to like give you an idea of her writing, but it's not like, I know most people know her from her book that was selected by Book of the Month a few years ago. I forget what that one was called. The Last Thing He Told Me. And I know it has been adapted. I would say that's more of like a mystery suspense thriller, but all of the other books, Hello Sunshine and this one, they've just been like literary fiction, contemporary stories about different things. But I just love her writing so much. I'm like, I want to read more of her books. You know, I want to read more. I want to read the other ones that I have. Yep. It was really, really good. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Definitely check it out on audio because it's just a quick listen. But now I'm trying to decide what I want to read next. Maybe The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins, because it's another like shorter one. I have so many things in this book. Because I got it for my birthday from Zoe. And I also, for the Read It or Unhaul It, I got The Heiress, and I never read it, but I'm reading it now. So yeah, I'm gonna do this one next, I think. All right, I was gonna go to Trader Joe's and buy fresh flowers, but I do have a bunch of daffodils poking up in my backyard. So I'm just gonna cut some of them and put them in a vase, and those are gonna be my fresh flowers. We don't have many, but we have a few over there that you can see.
틈새를 채울 순 있을까? I don't know what to do. We've already spent too much time. 우린 이미 너무 먼 길을 너에게로부터 가장 먼저 내 마음이 또다시 철없이 널 향하지 않게 Far away Far away 한참을 헤매고 찾아왔던 네가 그렇게 반가울 수 있었을까? I don't know what to do. I can't wait for you anymore. 이제 내게 남은 인사를 건네줄게. 너에게로부터 가장 먼저 내 마음이 또다시 철없이 널 향하지 않게 Far away Far
Okay, first things first, I cut my hair, drastically cut my hair, and I did silent reading sprints with my patrons from 9:30 till 12, and then after that I just wet down my hair and decided to cut more than half of it off. My husband is in a meeting, he's very loud, I apologize. And then I got in the shower and washed it, put product in, sat outside in the sunshine for a little bit, and now I'm gonna give you a reading update because I've made it probably a little bit more, maybe 60% of the way through the novel. I'm here, so I've read this, I have this to go. I'm on page 253, and wow, this book is really good, really ominous. Things are happening, not things that I was expecting, but it has this like eerie, like, you know something happened, but you don't know what it is, and I'm trying to figure it out, but it's hard to piece all of the puzzle pieces together. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. We'll see what happens in the second half or the last 40% or however much I have left to read, but I mean, it's going really well. The writing is very engaging. I was interested from the very beginning. I like the characters. I'm invested in the outcome. The only thing that was kind of holding me back is I wanted Belle, since Belle and her dad were so close, I wanted her to talk to her dad. And I kept saying, like, tell your dad, tell your dad, tell your dad. But like, then she did, and he like blew her off. And I was like, dude, what? But I mean, it makes sense why he did or whatever. But yeah, so that was the only thing that was kind of annoying me, but then like that happened. So And the only other thing that's really bothering me is like her cousin Carter getting close with like her mom, and it's like Belle and her mom aren't having like that good of a connection, but Carter and her mom are. And Carter, everybody just keeps saying like, give it time, give it time. And meanwhile, all of these weird things are happening. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen in the last part. But I need to eat first. So I just wanted to show off my very short curly hair and tell you about my book, and I'll check in with you guys when I finish reading it. Good morning, friends, and happy Saturday. I did have plans this morning at church, but I decided last minute not to go just because I have a very busy week ahead and I just kind of want a break. But it's supposed to be very fun, and Daniel actually went still, so I hope he has a lot of fun. But I'm here to give you a reading update because last night, pretty late, I'd say around like 10:30 last night, I did finish The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, and I'm rating this 4 stars. But hear me out, there's nothing wrong with this book. It's great. It's engaging. I was invested. The twists and reveals along the way, especially if you don't know too much about the story. like, funny enough, I was not expecting her mom to pop out of nowhere, but she did. But that's the reappearance. But anyway, it's basically about this family, and it follows this 18-year-old girl named Belle, who, when she was like 2 years old, her mom just kind of disappeared, poof, into the ether. And she's been gone for like 16 years. And this documentary, true crime documentary, like film crew are in her hometown to make a documentary about the disappearance of Rachel Price. And it feels very exploitative, and there were times when I was like hating the film crew. They were recreating scenes and just rolling the cameras during like intimate family moments, and yeah, I wasn't loving it. But like, it also has something to say about that, you know. It's also us as readers coming to terms with when we watch things like this. And like I said before, I don't typically watch things like that. I used to read, listen to, and watch a bunch more true crime, but I just don't do it anymore. Not for any particular reason. Maybe subconsciously there was a reason, but externally I just got into other things. But yeah, so it's about that. And there a couple, you know, shoots into this documentary, and then all of a sudden Rachel Price comes back. And obviously that throws a big wrench in the plans because Belle doesn't know her mom. You know, she was 2 years old when she went missing. It's always just been her and her dad. And then almost immediately when Rachel returns, Belle is skeptical, and she hears a slight inconsistency in her mom's story. And that just kind of needles away at Belle. Like, but she said this, but she said this. So she goes into like investigative mode. And you're just following along in Belle's investigations as she's trying to figure out, like, is this really her mom? Did what happened to her really happen? Is she making this up? What really happened? And then all of the events that transpire about this documentary, about the family trying to come together after something like that happened. And like I said, I was very engaged. The writing was fine. The characters were interesting, specifically like the immediate family. Yeah, it was really, really well done. I just thought that there was a moment that I started to get emotional, but it pulled me back because sometimes well, one of the things that bothered me about it is that the reveal of what is going on happened too soon. The reveal of what's going on, the whole thing that the story is leading up to, happened too soon in my opinion. Now, I will say they did a good job of still like layering upon that. Jackson did a good job of layering upon that, so you weren't just like bored to tears after it happened. So I was still quite invested in the story, and there were more reveals and stuff, but the main crux of what, you know, you just kind of find out something and you're like, oh, okay. So that kind of bothered, it always does in thrillers when that happens, when the reveal is done too early. But it didn't allow me to get emotional about something because things were still happening. So that was probably the only downfall for me, but I still would highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It has a very high average star rating on Goodreads. So 150,000 ratings, it has a 4.10. So it's really, really good. If you've read other books by this author, like the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, or you're looking to like, where can you jump in and just start enjoying her books, you could start here. Maybe that would encourage you to go back to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I know she also has this other book, 𝒑𝒏𝒅𝒏. I really want to read that. I know that takes place during like a spring break thing. And I also read her little novella Killjoy in The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like little prequel novella. I don't think that one was necessary at all yet. And then she has something coming out in July of 2025, Not Quite Dead Yet. Interesting. So I'll definitely be interested in reading that. So I'm going to put that on my want to read shelf. Because yeah, I'm gonna keep up with her stuff. Even though they're YA, they're very fast paced, they're very engaging, and I think the main character made smart decisions as a teenager investigating this type of thing, you know? So just take that for what you will. But that means that I'm ready to move on to my last book for the Bambi Readathon, The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. And I did start physically reading this last night before bed. I crawled into bed and then I just read like a couple of pages. But this one is interesting because it has multimedia in it. So it has like this newspaper article, another newspaper article, this little definition, and then it had chapter 1 by Jules's POV. I read that, and then the next thing is going to be like another newspaper article, and then there's an email. So I like that, and it's pretty short, so I should be able to finish it today, which is great. And then tomorrow we're supposed to watch Bambi the movie, the original theatrical 1942 movie, but you do have to rent or buy it on Prime Video. And if no one else wants to watch it, like, I don't want to watch it by myself. And I also don't want to spend money on it if no one's going to watch it with me. So I'm checking if anybody actually wants to watch it. And if they don't, that's totally okay. But yeah, that's kind of what I have going on today. Tomorrow is church and all of that. So I don't know if I don't finish this, like I'll probably finish it up tomorrow. But yeah, that's what we have going on so far. Okay, friends, I just finished my third and final book for the Bambi Readathon, my Patreon readathon, and that kind of wraps up this weekend reading vlog because it's Sunday evening, it's 6:48, and I'm probably not gonna pick up another book tonight. I'm gonna actually see if I can like watch a movie or something, but my next read is gonna be My Lucky Charm by Courtney Walsh. I mean, this is like the perfect way to wrap up March, I think. And then you will have already seen my April TBR, and I will be working on those books. So yeah, so let's talk about The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I loved the multimedia. I loved Ruby and her character and these letters that we get mixed throughout the novel. Unfortunately though, nothing really was happening. It was just kind of like day to day, and you're kind of wondering like, okay, what's the point? But as you're getting Ruby's letters, you're like, okay, she definitely has a story to tell. But then you're like, okay, but what's going on in the present? Why is Camden hesitant to come back to Ashby House? Why is his wife Jules wanting to be there, wanting to live there when she's never been there before? I guess it was just to like start over. She knew that there was a lot of money tied to the house, and she kind of came from this like trailer park in Florida. And the family, Camden's family, was so odd, but he was also adopted. So there were lots of different layers to the story. It is a very short book. It does read very quickly, but it has like a good steady pace. But at the end, when everything is revealed, it's kind of just a lot to take in, and they're good reveals and stuff like that. I think there's good reveals throughout the story, but I just think that there's nothing happening in the present that would like lead you to like where it's going, so you don't even know what's going on. It just feels like almost like a contemporary story with a look back into the past. So there's like these historical fiction bits, but you don't know how it all ties together. You don't know what the purpose is until the end. So it's kind of a lot to wrap your mind around. But basically, Jules and Cam are going to his childhood home where he was adopted, and he kind of owns the estate. His name is tied to all the money because he was left it in his will from his adoptive mom, Ruby. And then, like I said, you get all of these letters from Ruby talking about all of her husbands, because it's always been suspected that she's like killed off all of her husbands. So you find out like what happened with each one and like what the truth is and stuff like that. And you just kind of find out all the lies and secrets and mystery behind this family and what's going on. So good story. I don't know, wouldn't say it's like her best, but I mean, I didn't hate reading it. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I'm gonna rate this one 3 stars, and that wraps up, like I said, this weekend and my readathon. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are having a lovely day or night, and yeah, I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye friends.